Hey everybody, welcome to Korean Atlanta Mentorship. And it's already Christmas Eve. It's wow, holidays have gone by pretty fast. And so we'll just do another Velocity Banking Review Christmas Eve edition. And I was looking at lendingtree.com, and LendingTree has an article about how 36% of Americans took on holiday debt. And you might be thinking, oh my goodness, they took on debt? And how much? Averaging about $1,000, right? And so if you know velocity banking, you're like, well, that's it, right? Because we were always doing like 50 to $100,000 of credit card debt, and I just see this now. Now this seems like a joke, right? But again, for most Americans, they just don't know how to manage their finances. And it says right here 36% of Americans took on holiday debt this season, with 42% of them having their highest interest rate at 20% or higher. Looks like someone took out those buy now and pay later loans, right? Okay. So you take a look at here, key findings. 42% regret overspending for the holiday, and it's only $1,000 of debt, right? And so most people put their debt on credit or store cards, okay? And what's funny is that if you take a look at the real estate statistics, 90% of homeowners regret buying their first home in 2024. So not as bad as buying real estate, but still 42% is a good number. So we're going to go over velocity banking today, but here's the thing, right? As I said before, if I had $1,000 of debt, I mean, we've been doing situations many, many times where people are paying like 40, 15, 27 grand credit card debt. Take a look here. We have all this credit card debt over $100,000, right? $167,000. And so when I see $1,000 of debt, I'm like, that's easy, right? That's a joke. Well, and again, most Americans, they're all faking it, right? It's really weird how, and I'm gonna tell you this from like, I'm gonna be really sincere about this. I feel like it takes more effort to fake portraying that you're successful than actually being successful. And that's what happens to a lot of Americans. They're like, "Oh, I'm financially fine." You look at their Instagram and they're on vacation, they're buying these gifts, and it's like, "How do you afford that?" And it turns out they can't afford it, right? And it's just like, why not learn how to do things right? So instead of being broke and then portraying a facade, actually just live the real thing, right? Much easier. I'm telling you this as a person who's too lazy to put on a facade. That's much easier just to actually not be broke. All right, so let's go ahead and do velocity banking. So, what is velocity banking? All it is a debt payoff strategy where you use your line of credit as your main operating account. Okay, so only two things needed for velocity banking. Number one is a budget, and then number two is a line of credit. Okay, and so here's what we assume: we do this every single time. Same income when we do velocity banking, and then we have zero savings, right? And so this is the scariest part for most Americans is they cannot have zero savings. And we're going to have something called cash flow, C2 minus whoopsie, C2 minus C3. And what we're going to do is move some debt into a line of credit and use that as what we call our main operating account. In fact, let me go ahead and show you my line of credit. So give me one moment. As you can see, this is my line of credit here, over $280,000. And if you've never heard of the term line of credit, all it is basically a credit card like device. Well, it's technically a credit card is a line of credit where you can borrow money, pay back, and use it over and over again. So I can literally go to a bank's website, click a button, and then it'll dump up to $280,000 at my checking account at a 7.75% interest rate. And I remember when I got this thing, man, this is how I felt. I felt like I got this infinity gauntlet put in my hand for the first time with all the infinity stones or gems or whatever they call it, right? I think in the comic books they call them gems, and then in the movies they call them infinity stones. But that's what I felt like to me, right? $280,000. Okay. All right. So, how do you get a line of credit? Well, here's the secret that no one's ever going to tell you because the banks essentially lie to you in their marketing. You have to get the credit before you ever need it because banks don't lend money to people who need it, right? I say this all the time so that you brainwash yourself to understand when to get the line of credit. And that's how over $575,000 in lines of credit. 575,000, you know, I say that and it almost doesn't seem real, but that's how much I have right now. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. Let's move some of these debts into the line of credit. So how much of credit card debt do we have? 42,000. We'll assume we have a $50,000 home equity line of credit. We're going to move 42,000 here, and guess what happens? Well, by simply moving this credit card debt, these two payments go to zero, and we literally went from $400 in savings to 1,700 in cash flow. And then this is the final step. All right, let me go ahead and zoom in. So what's the final step? We put our entire 5,000, our entire pay into that line of credit, into this 47,000, 42,000 here, and then we take our expenses out. And then after every single month, the balance is going to go down by 1,700. That's all it is. See how easy that is? So let's go ahead and calculate the formula of the next month, and then next month's balance plus the previous month's balance minus our cash flow, which is 1737.19. See how easy that is? Paycheck in, expenses out, paycheck in, expenses out, right? But we got to calculate the interest, right? So the interest is based on the average daily balance, right? Average here. We multiply it by the interest rate, 0.08, and then divide by 12. Remember, interest rate is always calculated annually, but you divide by 12 because I'm sorry, not calculated annually. It's quoted annually, but it's calculated monthly, which is why you divide by 12. Okay, and then you see how easy that is. Oh, it's easy peasy. Easy peasy. Easy as a P? No, but it's easy peasy. Okay. All right. So now we see that in 27 months, and let me zoom out so you can see the whole picture, we got all of our debt paid off. Look how easy that was. That 42,000. Okay. So let me go ahead and highlight this. And then let me put in our statistics or milestones right here. In 42 months, not 42, is it? It's 27 months. Okay. 27 months, we paid off 42K. All right. Look how easy that was. All right. And so now we got these three other loans we got to take care of. And I probably forgot to set up my loan calculator correctly, but no worries. We'll just do it here. All right. So let's go ahead and do that here. And let me make sure I do this. And I'm going to take this one away because this is from another demo I did. And I just got to set these up correct. So I just got to put in the original balance, the interest rate, and then here, same thing, 6.1, and then 170, 0, and 3%. Okay. And so now I just type in the current month. So if you don't know what this is, basically it's a loan calculator, right? If you give these three options or these three factors, it'll spit out the payment amount. And then if you have the current month, it'll tell you the current balance. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're at 27 months, 27, 27, 27. And again, average American worried about $1,000 of debt. We got rid of 42,000 in no time. So like they don't know what they don't know. Okay. So now let's go ahead and increase our cash flow by moving this $10,000 into that line auto loan line of credit. So we're going to do this right here. Control that, paste right here. And then we just add 10,000, 10584.46. Okay, by adding that 10,000, right, what happened to our cash flow? It increases because the auto loan goes to zero, and then blam, our cash flow is now over $2,000. See how easy that is? Oh, it's so easy. Why y'all make this more complicated than it needs to be, right? That's what I gotta tell other people whenever I see their velocity banking presentations. I just get a little bit confused. 2115.34. Right? And then let's go ahead and do this. And then we see that in month 32, all right, 32 months, it is 42 plus 17. How much did we pay off? 59K, 59K. And then in 32 months, let's check the balances of the other loans. So this is 0, and then 59, 59. Wait, did I do that one right? No, 32, my bad. 32, 32. And then here we have 26,000 in our student loan. Now, should we move this into a line of credit? It depends, right? If the interest rate is around the same or higher than the line of credit, then yes. But if it's lower, We might want to be a little bit careful about that, especially with the 30-year mortgage, because look at this one. This is a 3% 30-year mortgage. But I know that even if we have a higher interest rate line of credit, what we call the chunking method is a for sure, almost for sure safe bet, right? So we're going to do that, which is we're going to move a piece of the loan into the line of credit and just pay it off. And luckily, we have a velocity banking calculator to help us know the payoff time. So give me one moment. All right, so we have this velocity banking calculator. I just filled out everything by Renatus. So just a quick plug for Renatus. If you're interested in learning not only velocity banking, but other things like buying real estate at a discount, learning how to do real estate investing the right way, financial literacy, go ahead and click the Google form link below. I do get some commission off of your purchase of Renatus educational product. And just so if you're thinking like, how do I support this person or channel? That's just one way of doing it, right? Again, quick plug. But this is where I originally learned velocity banking from. Okay, so let's just keep going. And let's go ahead. So 0.9 years. So I'm going to go ahead and record that. So let me go here. So we're just going to do this. This goes to 0. And then this is 32 times 0.9 times 12. How much is that? Oh, no, I screwed up, didn't I? Point 0.9. All right. So that's 43 months. 43 months. And then what's 59 plus 33? That's 92K. 92K. Okay, great. So now at 43 months, we just figure out the balance of this loan, right? 156,000, and then we're just do the same thing over again. $5,000 chunks is fine. Just you could use the same amount as your paycheck. And so let's just do this one more time. All right, so now this is 30 years and it's 3%. I think it's was it 300,000? How much was the loan? No, it's 170,000. Okay. It's a cheaper area, probably in the Midwest. And then what is our current balance? 156,774.10. 156,774.1. And then what's the payment amount? It is 716.73. Okay. And then now we just got to update this. So if we go in here, this is going to go to 0 eventually. So our expenses are 1,800, and that's all we got to do is just put the 1,800 right here, right? Everything except for the loan we're trying to pay off. Wablam, 4.5 years. That was easy. Okay, so now I just go here, 43 divided by 12 plus 4.5, and then now it's 8.08 years, and we are completely debt free. Woohoo! Woohoo! And then now this goes to 0. And how much debt was that? It's 92 plus 170. All right, so 262K of debt. Okay, y'all excited? Y'all excited? I'm excited because it's Christmas Eve and we're not, hopefully, we're not freaking out about $1,000 of debt and getting into 20% interest loans, usually probably one of those buy now, pay later loans to get into it. But according to Lending Tree, that's what most people are doing. Well, not most people, a good number of people, 36%, you know. And here's the crazy part, okay? Here's the crazy part. I don't buy presents for anybody. I don't, right? You know why? Because you remember that episode of Seinfeld where people become regifters? You know what I'm talking about? If you don't know, look up regifting in Seinfeld. That's what I end up doing because I'd rather just take the money and buy the stuff that I need, you know? People always buy me stuff that I don't want. I don't like that. So I don't like Christmas presents anymore. At least when I was a kid, I was very adamant I wanted a certain video game. But as an adult, I'm like, people try to guess what I want, and I'm like, that's not what I wanted. So I don't like Christmas presents. Okay. All right. Geez, that's so depressing, right? Just $1,000 of debt is unmanageable for Americans. Well, I don't know if that's true or not, but it makes the article makes it seem that way. Okay, well, it's already Christmas Eve, so y'all know what you need to do, right? We got to have a debt-free Christmas. That's what we do. We only have one day to be debt-free. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, I'm just kidding. But you know what to do. You gotta keep studying, right? Keep studying. I'm pretty much I'm mortgage free and I keep doing this, right? Because we all know that the key to success is maintenance. That's what it is, right? That's how we become successful in anything. All right. All right. Well, this is Korean Atlanta Mentorship. Merry Christmas Eve tomorrow, and then it's going to be Merry Christmas, and then a Happy New Year. So have a great day, and we will speak next time.